Alright, so let's jump into the books that I did pick up. Sheesh! Okay, today we're going to be going over some of the items I found at the world's longest yard sale, the Highway 127 sale. Me and the guys from the Reseller Locker Room podcast were out there for a whole week picking and shooting content and just kind of hanging out. So, first piece I want to show you guys actually came from my good friend Woody at Reselling with Woody channel. Make sure you go check him out. He gave me this caviar hat right here. So, big shout out to him. Thank you for the hat, buddy. Now we'll just jump into the hats I actually picked during the 127 yard sale. First hat, we have this Bass Pro Shop corduroy hat. It's like corduroy here and then straw on the bill in the front of the hat. Try to look it up on eBay. Didn't see any of these hats online at all, so that is a good thing. Paid like $2 on this. Cool find right there. Next hat I found on a day where me and Rocky Top Picker and Soda City Flips just went and hit up the thrift stores. And I did come across this Seattle Kraken, the NHL team in Seattle, Washington hat. Paid $2 for this hat as well. Both these hats will get listed for around $20, I'm thinking. Alright, now let's jump into a book find that I grabbed for myself. Fully is Good. This is just going in my personal collection. I got a few wrestling books up here. Excited to add this one to my collection. One of my all-time favorite wrestlers, Foley, also known as Mankind, and other characters in the WWE. Alright, now we're going to jump into some bookends that I bought. I'm trying to build up a collection so I can start a category in my eBay store of just bookends. So here is the first set. Got these elephants. They had a price for $8.50. I think I got these for $5. Not sure what I'm going to list these at yet, but I got them cheap enough where I will make some money. And before they sell, I will actually use them because I need some. So that's the first set. Cool elephant bookends. Alright, another set I found, just these ducks. Paid $2 for these. Got some pretty cool paint job on these. All wood. No. Gonna try to keep picking these up. Usually at a thrift store they're too much, so yard sales, I can find bookends cheap enough where I can still sell them and make a decent profit. Alright, now we're gonna jump in to the books that I picked up during the 127. This is not all the books. I did do a huge buyout. I bought about 4 tubs worth of books at a yard sale. I'll show you one of those books in this video, but make sure you subscribe because there's going to be a video of that whole haul, which is my best book haul of all time. Probably going to be my best financial flip of all time on eBay. To show you guys one book that came out of this haul that I'm talking about. I paid $250 for 4 tubs of all comic and gaming books. This is for the Alice in Wonderland Madness Returns video game walkthrough book. See what this is worth currently on Amazon. It was up to $400. Kind of goes up and down. So it's at $314 right now, the buy box on Amazon. So this book alone will pay for all the books I got at that yard sale, which we will jump into that in another video. Alright, so let's jump into the books that I did pick up. So let's jump into some other books that I did pick up during the sale. First book here is the Book of the Lost Tales, J.R.R. Tolkien book. Paid $6 for this book. I believe the sold comps are around 30 on this, if I'm not mistaken. One other book. This is a newer book, has a barcode. Let's see what it's worth. Do not remember exactly what I paid for on this book. Probably $2. On Amazon right now, the buy box is $48.88. Okay, these 2 books came out of Tent City, which is more set up like a flea market at the 127 sale. This is probably my find of the week. besides the big book buyout I did, but I picked up these 2 books for $30 each. They sell for $200 each, so $400, 30 into $400. That is going to be one of the better finds I found during this yard sale. Next up, we have Woman in the Making of America. Probably I paid $2 on this book. I think the sold comps on this are around $40. Okay, next up we have 2 leather-bound books. First one right here. This is a Franklin Library book. Very good condition on this book. I did pay up for these leather-bound books more than I would like to pay. I paid $15, but they do sell for around $45, so I'll still make some money off that. I'd rather my margins be a lot higher than that when it comes to books, but still a cool book. The guy would not come down on the prices. This is Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Franklin Library. Now here we go. This is an Easton Press leather-bound book in very, very good shape. Sold comps around $45. Might be able to get more out of this book because it does have some extra things in here. Collector's note. It's got a receipt in here where the guy that bought it maybe came from an auction house. They paid $34 for this. This book is called The Demolished Man by Alfred Bester. Look at that. Very cool cover art. Really, really nice book here. Okay, not a very nice book. Yeah. Back of the cover is detached on this one. I just picked it up because it's really, really old. Not sure the sold comps on this yet. I have to look into it. This is The Pilgrim's Progress and Holy War. Very old book from the 1800s. But it is in really rough condition. Alright, now we got 2 modern books right here. Let's check these on Amazon right now. Alright, first book we have here, Wound Care's Essentials. This book currently is selling for $49.18 on Amazon. This book currently is selling for $49.18 on Amazon. Paid $1 for this book. Next up we have The Will to Survive. Let's check this out. Nothing very impressive on this book. Buy box right now is only $13.99, so I'll only make about $5 on this. Okay, guys, we'll change it up for a second here. I did pick up a cool vintage Harley Davidson shirt. I got this at the 127 the first day we went out picking. Love the graphics on this shirt. Alaska Harley Davidson, Anchorage, Alaska. If this was an extra large, I would be keeping this shirt. This is from 1989. I'm going to say this is one of my favorite finds from the yard sales. Really, really cool. Love that shirt. Some more books. Another just very old book right here. Have not looked up any sold comps on this yet. 1888, so very old, in pretty rough condition. I didn't pay more than $2 for these books, these 2 old ones that I showed you guys, so I'll still make money on these, even if they're in this really bad condition. Okay, last up we have a book set. So we got a book set and we have a Stephen King book right here. This is probably another personal pickup. I don't think this is a Needful Things. I don't think it has any resale value on this. It does. Selling on Amazon for $13.62, so about $4 profit. But this is going to go in my personal Stephen King collection that I've started. Just need to start reading them now. I am reading the Stand By Me book, which is called The Body, I believe. Anyways, this is going to my personal bookshelf. Okay, last books I did actually buy. 2 resale, do-it-yourself encyclopedia, vintage Encyclopedia Set. I paid $2 for these. They sell for around $15. Not the best flip ever, but still some cool vintage books right there. Now we're going to jump into what sold. Okay, so we have 2 Macari sales, and then we have 14 eBay sales that I'm going to pack up today. Show you guys that stuff. All the stuff that I got at the 127, I'm going to start listing that as well today. But let's jump into what sold on eBay first. Very cool, interesting looking plushie here that I got at the Goodwill bins from Among Us. This sold for $17.09 plus shipping. Alright, next up we sold these two Funko Pez dispensers. These only brought combined together $10.80 plus shipping. Okay, next up I'm even questioning why I ever picked this up in the first place. Just this vintage kind of Disney mug right here, Coca-Cola mug. Sold on an offer for $7 plus shipping. I bought this thing a long time ago at a yard sale for probably for like a quarter, so glad to see it out of here. Glad to see this thing get out of my house. Alright, now we're going to move into the book sales. This is a very interesting book, the Machinist Handbook, 17th edition. This is the 1964 edition, sold for $24.99 plus shipping. Next up we have a vintage children's book from 1966. Sounds of Laughter hardback, sold for $8.99 plus shipping. Alright, gotta be the pathetic sale of the week. Guide to Understanding Money and Investment. This sold for a whopping $4.50 plus shipping. Alright, first Bible sale of the video. The Rainbow Study Bible sold for $15 plus shipping. Not in the best shape ever. It's got some paint on it right here. But I just relisted this book because I had another one for $19.99. It's in a little bit better condition than this one. So here's actually a book that came from the 127 yard sale. I got a whole bunch of homeschooling books for free. Already listed them. Sold within a couple days on this one right here. Took an offer for $18 plus shipping. Completely free book. Alright, now we have a textbook on mental disorders. Something that I was not allowed to sell on Amazon, so I threw it up on eBay. And this sold for $19.99 plus shipping. Alright, we have another Bible. This one sold for $14.40 plus shipping. King James Version. Very cool cover art on here. Next up we have the Clippinger Class Method of Voice Culture. Interesting title there. This is a music book. I believe this came out of an estate sale. Only sold for $6.29. Alright, now we have this book from 1892. Sold for $20 plus shipping. Got the gold leaf. Very nice spine on this one. In pretty good condition for being that old. 20 bucks on that. Another book that I was not allowed to sell on Amazon. Would have sold for a lot if I was ungated in Amazon, but only sold for $9.99 on eBay. Okay, and last up for the eBay sales, we have this NASA book. It does have a signature on the front here. I couldn't figure out who it was. Maybe it's someone of somewhat importance that comes to NASA, and I sold it for way too cheap. Don't know. Don't really care. Got it from the Goodwill bin. Sold for $19.99 plus shipping. Okay, moving on to the Macari sales. We have these red suspenders from Tiger Work Gear. Got a nice leather patch on here. These sold for $12.38 on Macari. Okay, last sale of the video and last book that sold. This is Playing with Power, a Nintendo book sold on Macari. This is kind of like an overview on a whole bunch of classic Nintendo games. Very cool book. This sold for $14.57 on Macari. Guys, make sure you give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video I put out. As always, guys, keep on picking, keep on flipping. Beard King, out. Okay, so here is actually a book that came out. So this